Well, welcome back. Episode 4 of the Old Bull Young Buck. Griffin Logue with me. My name's David Mundy. I'm glad to see you've dressed for the occasion, mate.
Yeah, mate, moving up in the world, just looking after my life after footy in the corporate sector. So watch this space. But I just had a quick appearance, mate. So
Beautiful.
Back here to the real business. So
Thanks, mate. Yeah, love it.
here
For
we
those
are.
just listening to us this week, Griff's donned the business shirt and tie and looking very, very dapper.
Double Windsor as well, tied it myself.
Did you do that yourself?
Learned that through all the years of private school. Thanks, Mum and Dad. It's one thing I learnt from it, how to tie a good tie. So
Guildford.
Grammar.
Yeah, great plot. We had Travis Collier on the potty last week. We had another really special guest coming up, Andy Brayshaw. But what do we take away from the Trav chat?
Yeah, there was a bit of conjecture with how small or tall he is. He is officially shorter than Peter Bell. How that was ever in question with the GM being told a bit of small is bizarre. But anyway, he was good. Yeah, I loved his chat. Lots of the finer things in life, and he's a smart little man.
He is, yeah. As well, our GM, Peter Bell, was a bit disappointed we didn't bring up their similarity in speed across the deck as well. So
Explosive pace, yeah.
Pete, yeah, he asked me to bring that up personally. So there you go, Pete. Thank you. And the other big one, I think, that fell out of the podcast last week, there was a fair bit of angst amongst the group. Griff, you've come after the senior coach. You've gone hard at him.
Yeah.
His choice of coffee. He didn't like it.
Yeah, for those that aren't aware, I did do that. He brought it up in the team meeting as well. Wasn't too pleased with it, going behind his back like that. So yeah, I made sure I went up to him, and this time I actually said it to his face that I'm not impressed with his coffee drinking. So I'll never go behind someone's back. I'll hit him where it hurts. But I do apologise with how hard I went.
Was it true that you were walking around like a bit of a whipped dog for a
I was
couple of
walking
days?
around on eggshells for the first bit, and
Tail
yeah.
between your legs, bit scared.
yeah, just but it's all in good fun. So he took it well. It was good. He's a good guy.
Yeah, great. Well, we'll move on anyway. As I said, it's our 4th episode. Welcome back to people who have been viewing or watching us, and wherever you are on our pod journey, we welcome you. But do you want to introduce our guest for this week?
Yeah, obviously it's an exciting time for me. He's a close friend of mine, and bit of the younger crowd. So one for the good guys as we've spread along the journey. But anyway, here he is, Andy Brayshaw, Snee. Mate,
Lads,
welcome.
thank you for having me. It's
Go me first.
it's
yeah.
been a very long time coming.
I remember that.
4th bloke to get the invite, but stoked to be here.
Well, it's a very long list now. The guys are hounding us to come on, so you should feel very privileged.
Surprisingly, blokes that you wouldn't even think. I think you should be happy. 4th's like, you don't have the pressure of first. Luke took that.
I was just saying, I want to be in there before the pod blows up to
Not too late,
first
mate.
in Australia.
Well,
We're already taking over WA. When it gets first in Australia, I want to be one of the day ones.
as
So
the famous Conor McGregor said, mate, we're not here to take part, we're here to take over. So
bloody
get
oath.
ready, son. For the listeners tuning in, Andy, we do refer to Andy as Schnee. Where did that actually come from, Schnee?
Yeah, it was a family nickname. My parents and brothers.
Big
used to-
family.
Yeah,
Huge
yeah,
family.
great family. They used to call me Snee growing up. The real reason was I used to sneak around the house, used to hide in weird places. So I was Sneaker, Sneaker, and then that just got shortened to Snee. And then there's been a few variations.
So it is
Sneezer.
Snea.
SNEA is the correct way to spell it, but there's been a fair few derivations.
Oh, great
hang
word.
on.
That's good. Good on you for using that one. You any other brain busters for us, mate? Any
Nah,
other names that came through the ranks, or we just ended up at Snee and nothing else really?
Nah, pretty much just Snee. And more Sneezer in high school and then back to Snee now that I'm here. So
Yep.
What did Longy call you last year when he first came?
Yeah, tell
Yeah.
us that one. That's a good one.
So he called me Bray.
Wish that stuck.
And it was in a team meeting, something came up and he just said, yeah, Bray. And everyone was just sort of like,
Who's Bray?
who is Bray? And then afterwards he approached me and said, do you mind if I call you Bray? And I'm not proud, but I sort of,
You just copped it,
Yeah,
didn't you?
I
You said, yes,
I was
sir.
like, oh, yeah, whatever you want to call me, mate. But
Whatever
so
you want, Mr. Longmuir.
pretty much. It was, yeah. So now he goes with Bray and a few of the staff go with Bray and it hurts me every time I hear it.
Uncle Jim as well calls you Steve. Can you?
Oh,
What's the go there?
yeah, so that was so one of Dad's mates and Uncle James's mates was the umpire for an APS game when I was playing in Year 12, and all my mates were calling me Snee on the ground, and like played a pretty good game, and after the game, the old bloke who was umpiring went up to my dad and he's like, "Oh, your boy Steve played really well." Dad was like, "Sorry?" It's like, "Yeah, your boy Steve got a fair bit of the ball, and the boys are getting around him." And he's like, "Oh, mate, yeah, his name's Andrew, but yeah, they were calling him Snee." So all of my dad's mates found that hilarious. So they've been calling me Steve ever since.
Even the schoolmates are calling you Snee. It started as a family.
Started as a family, and then
Chuka Constable.
Chook Constable,
yeah.
who anyone who was close enough with my family just sort of knew that it was Snee, and then went to Haileybury, and pretty much ever since then that's been my nickname.
Never looked back.
Took over. Nice.
Yeah.
Now, we've just got back from the hub. How was that experience? Did you forget anything heading in?
No, I remembered everything. We only had a day and a half to pack, but hub was great. Got my OG burrito in. I think Trav touched on that last week, which was awesome. But
Efforts apartment.
Sorry, how many did you have?
just the one.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, 1.5.
It's going up.
Two of us went.
And the plot thickens.
Two of us.
Okay.
We got 3 between the two of us. Had 1.5, but it was an hour and a bit wait, so I was just one and done for me.
Great. And we've just come out of the Essendon game. Disappointing loss in Melbourne. What was your takeaways from that?
Yeah, it was really frustrating. It was one that we probably should have won. I feel like we had control of the ball for a fair bit of the game, and came down to the wire, and they probably just stood up a bit better under pressure. But plenty of learnings that we've been going through today, and I'm sure that we'll keep working through the week. But massive game this weekend that hopefully we can improve on and get a win.
Yep. Well said, mate. Well said. We'll just start with your journey as well from the East Coast to the Great Southern Land, Western Southern Land, whatever it is we call it down here.
God's country.
Southwestern, yeah.
God's country. I'll deal with that. Pick 2 in the draft. Didn't quite make pick 1, but did you think you were a sniff to go 1? Be honest.
I thought it was. Yeah, I thought I was probably a 50-50 chance to go.
I saw it was
maybe
1
to
or
Brisbane.
2, but nothing else.
No,
Nothing lower.
to be honest, Fremantle, I'd had an interview with Freo during the year. But honestly, I'd only
bit out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was. I'd had an interview with them, and I thought, I spoke well, and they seemed like really nice, and but they didn't really get in contact with me that much in the days leading up to the draft. So
they weren't really on the radar.
No, they
were
just sort of. I knew they had picks 2 and 5, and I was like, oh yeah, like I've spoken to them, but they didn't sound like ridiculously interested. But obviously, they were happy enough with that one interview that when I was available at 2, they just
nailed
they
it.
took the chance.
Must have just used some good words like derivatives and stuff
Derivation,
like that.
yeah.
Derivations. Well done, mate.
Yeah. Well, I've
I
learned
think
from the best.
They did that to me as well. If I'm honest, I didn't feel like I had any. They weren't even on the radar, to be honest. And then out of nowhere, I get to stay in the great state. So good
God's
on 'em.
country, that's
And
great.
I reckon they made the right decision bringing you, Shani. So
Oh,
me,
thanks.
not so much. But hey, you live and
time will tell.
you live and you learn, eh? You live and you learn. Draft combine was one of the reasons you went so high as well. Tell us about that and your experience there. The yo-yo test record holder, is that?
We hear about it all the time.
Still
yeah.
to the day, everyone brings it up. There's always, I get a text from 1 or 2 blokes here saying, "Oh, there's someone this year that's going to get it, mate. They're going to take the yo-yo test record," and I'm yet to see it be beaten.
I think you've been lucky because they've kind of canned it with COVID. So there's been a few gun runners come through the ranks and they've just dodged it. But
Well, that's the beauty of the yo-yo test. It's not really an endurance test. It's more of a mental test.
Just
So,
Mentally strong.
yeah,
it's all about ticker, isn't it?
yeah.
True or false? Did you bring up your yo-yo test result in our warm-up last week in our main training session?
No, someone would have baited me up if I did mention it. Someone would have.
No, we
baited
had a
me.
slightly different warm-up where we were running and reacting to a whistle, and I was next to you.
Hang on, I
and you
was in
said
this conversation as well.
this is exactly like the yo-yo test I aced at the combine.
No, I believe someone said, "Schnee, you're moving really well, probably because you won the yo-yo test." I said, "Yeah, let's not bring that up. I'm trying to put that behind me." Yes, it did shoot me up the draft ladder, but I'm trying to put it behind me.
Oh, good on you, mate.
Thanks, mate.
You're so humble. We love you like that. So when you would have done that yo test, you would have been playing for the Sandy Dragons.
Yep.
A upcoming side, Vic Metro as well. Any
Yep.
other younger sides that you would have played with, or where did it all start?
Hampton Rovers Junior Football Club was, where it started for me. I never
Back pocket as well.
back pocket. Yeah. I didn't play Auskick. All my brothers were at Hampton Rovers, and I sort of, when you're like a year or 2 younger than the required age, but I just sort of chucked on a jersey and played with my brother Hamish for my first few years.
Hey, Mish.
Misha. So Hampton Rovers was my junior footy club, and then started playing school footy for Haileybury and tack up for Sandy and Vic Metro.
Hang on, so you were a prodigy talent, just even back then, bypassed Auskick straight into juniors.
No, I don't know if it was that. I don't know why. I can't remember why Mum didn't let me play Auskick. Probably just wanted me to help chores around the house or something. But yeah, I pretty much. Mate, I honestly,
outrageous.
I honestly don't
That is
know why.
one of the
You've never
worst
done
examples.
I've never asked her why we didn't. But yeah, my first footy that I actually played, like a proper game, was Hampton Rovers.
Beautiful.
Yeah, fair enough. You look around the clubs and you see a lot of blokes kind of obviously able to play footy, and a lot of blokes have different background sports. Dave's pretty handy and most improved on the basketball hoop. Do you have any other sports you can kind of have a go at, or is it not really your? It's just footy.
I
It's
did
all in on footy.
athletics. I did athletics, little athletics growing
Mate,
up.
we get it. We did. We know your yo-yo. It's not. You can't do that as a decathlon, mate. I don't know what's going.
But no, to be honest, yeah, it was pretty much just footy. I mean, my dad played footy and all my brothers did, so there was no real other interest in other sports.
No brainer to Sharon.
Yeah, Aths was really just to stay fit for footy season. That was pretty much the cycle. So
Yeah, I feel like to round this conversation out, Griff wants me to bring up his rowing days. You're a big rower, weren't you, Griff? You were good at it. It was a choice.
Well, you're putting words into my mouth, but yeah, I was.
what did they called your position? Is it the Cox? What was?
It's not bad. It's not funny. Nathan Fife was the Cox. Let's just remember that. The beast that you guys see grace the football field these days used to just pull strings and steer the boat. But I was a 6 seat. It's called it. 2 from the front.
Nice.
Rhythm seat. It's good fun.
All right.
Terrible sport. Hard to. It's not much reward in it, but it's it's a good. I learned a lot from it. You would have learned a lot. I don't know if you would have had any of the ticker for it, but anyway, Shane.
Fair enough.
All right, well, let's pivot back to Snee. We'll get into our next segment. We call this Quick Hands, Snee. I'm going to fire some questions at you. I want really quick answers.
Sure.
Right. Have you ever changed a tyre?
Sorry.
Have you ever changed a car tyre?
Oh, a tyre. Yeah, I thought you meant a tyre. No.
Have you gone fishing or camping?
Yes.
How many times? No, actually, don't worry about it.
Your go-to snack preference?
Doritos and salsa.
Last time you called your mum?
Yesterday.
Who is your mum's favourite player?
Probably you, to be honest.
Your mum's signature dish?
Mexican.
Who is worst dressed at the club?
Ches.
How did you meet the lovely Lizzie?
High school.
Do you love her?
Yes.
Brunch with Liz or golf with the boys?
Early breakfast with Liz and then golf with the boys.
Blackjack or poker?
Poker.
Hands down.
Hands down, poker.
Hands down, yeah.
Nice.
It's a no-brainer, that one.
Well done, Snee. That was good, mate.
Thank you.
Very sharp.
I was rattled by the first one. I thought it was a tyre as in clothes. Like, you're a tyre.
Well, that's what someone who wouldn't have changed a tie would probably answer, to be honest. So
Yeah, probably.
you've answered the question for us,
Yeah.
so well done.
Thank you,
Thank
mate.
you.
Cheers.
I want to touch back what you say, Dave, is your mum's favourite player. Why is that?
Mum actually barracked for Freo well before I was drafted. Angus, my brother Angus as well. So she just always loved Dave. No Andy Mundy, Barra. They love that your name's Barra. But yeah, just an honest in and under footballer, and I think that's why they love him.
Thanks, Deb. I appreciate the support. So you mentioned you think Ches is the worst dressed.
Yeah.
Are you, before you launch in, are you aware that there's the Freo media team have been running a quick answer questions with a few guys, and consistently you've come up? How does that make you feel? Any rebuttal?
Well, I think you have to have a scale whereby the effort I put in to my dress and then how good I actually look. I think for the effort that I put in, I look pretty good. I just sort of slap on whatever's in the cupboard. Whereas there are blokes at the club who carefully, meticulously plan out what they're wearing.
Who's that?
And
Well,
is
Ches,
one of
for
those.
example.
Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah, he's got it all sorted and he still can't pull it together. So I'd like to think that I'm definitely not the best dressed, but I'd just be mid-range.
I'm loyalty to the absent, but Connor Blakely's the worst dressed at the club. He's got some shocking kits. I'm just laying it out there.
Yeah, he hasn't been mentioned yet. Yeah, fair
If
enough.
he hasn't been mentioned, then we're looking at the wrong thing. Keeping on the clothes line. Clothesline. That works.
There you go. Well done.
Nice.
I'll do that. Exciting news today. The club has launched a long sleeve jumper on sale. Would you ever wear it? A long sleever?
No, I don't think I would. I think I might have worn one for Hampton Rovers way back in the day, but I think since I've been playing serious football, I've never done it, and I don't think I will.
Yep. So they've gone on sale this week. First shipment is sold out like absolute hotcakes. Gone. Jim's a bit dirty. The club's used Rory Lobb as the ambassador, the face of the long sleeve jumper.
When you think of long sleeves at Fremantle, who do you think of?
I probably think of definitely Aishi and then probably Rick.
Yeah.
Lobby for me
third.
is probably third.
Wow.
I'd have to agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I think of Justin Longview on that goal after the siren.
That was a good one. I played that game.
Did you?
Yep.
25
Anyway,
years
for those who have missed out so far on long sleeves, there are more coming. So just be patient. But we're stoked we could help facilitate that with the club with our chat with Jim, obviously a couple of weeks ago.
Thanks, Jim.
Before we move on too far, you mentioned you met Liz in high school. You're now living together, and she's moved over. Obviously, that's going well.
Yeah, going really well. We did long distance for a few years, which was challenging, but also made it all worth it when she finally moved over halfway through last year.
Yep.
Now we were living in a share house with a few of the boys and another girlfriend as well, but we've moved just to us too, so made a big step. But yeah, we're going well.
No, it's great to see, mate. High school sweethearts as well. You mentioned you met in year 8.
Oh, we would have met, like actually ever said hello to each other in probably year 8 at a party. But
It's funny you mentioned that.
Did was it always smooth sailing from the start? Was it like one of those love at first sight things? You reckon?
I was definitely
For you?
I thought she was.
And
I was
both ends? Was it?
I was a late bloomer, so in the time when I would have first met her, I was just a little pipsqueak. So I can't imagine
She wouldn't have judged you on your looks though. This is not the kind of person she is.
Yeah, no, that's true. But
Because there's a funny story from Hamish Brayshaw I've delved into, and he may not have told me that you apparently got your mate to go over and say to Lizzie, "Hey, you see that guy over there? You should go and say hi to him." And Lizzie's flat out denied straight to his face and laughed at him. This is Lizzie, your current missus. So from back then, she's
Year 8, rocky start.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, well, I laid my eyes on her and I thought, wow, she's beautiful. But I was just a little pipsqueak. I hadn't gone through puberty. I was just, probably looking like a year 6, and she didn't want to borrow me.
You mentioned before you would choose poker over blackjack. There's a bit of a crew at the club getting around the poker table at the moment. Do you want to mention some of the regulars?
Well, the bracelet leader is sitting on the table, Griffin Logue.
He knows.
Yeah, no need for an introduction. I'm gun.
And then myself, Reece Conker, Joel Hamling, Brennan Cox, Toe Botson, Alex Pearce. There's a few boys that, it originally started as...
You missed the worst player.
I was going to say, the most keen.
Sorry, Blake Akers.
The worst player.
Yeah, Blake, he's great for value in terms of good chat, brings some good snacks, but is typically first out. But yeah, it started as a bit of like a dinner, playing some card games into the dinner, and now it's like a few boys are actually starting to get pretty good at it. So it's a bit of fun.
So you've played quite a lot over the last couple of years. Any particular tells or anyone particularly good at hiding their tell?
I have a tell. I told Reece what his tell. Well, I thought Reece had a tell when he gets his cards. When he gets a premium hand, so aces, kings, queens, that sort of setup, he'll set his cards up really neatly, like they do on the TV. So they put them side by side so the camera can see him from underneath. And when he gets a really nice hand, he like straightens them up, does them really neat. And I checked with him once. I was out of a hand and he straightened them up. And I was like, mate, can I have a look what you got? And he had aces. So my tell was on there. And then
Bullets we call them.
Bullets. And I know Griff's tell, but I can't disclose that obviously to him. So
No, I love it. And rumour mill coming out of the poker crew is that your nickname is Andy Murray. What's that about?
Yeah, what is that about? If you know my tell, actually, as a bracelet leader, why are you called Andy Murray?
Well, I'm pretty sure you came up with it. So you could probably elaborate on it more. I'm known for getting into the top handful and getting bad beaten.
Basically,
when it's top
you've
two.
got your guns, Joker, Ruffer, Fed. there's always that one poor bloke who's coming second. A lot of the time, it's Andy Murray. In this case, it's Schnee.
The Snee.
An honourable player.
Oh,
And-
no doubt, and yeah, legend of the sport. But
Yep.
yeah, it just won't be remembered for once.
And so you have some prerequisites to play poker. Obviously, you mentioned snacks. You're a big snack man. You love your snacks.
Yep, I love my snacks.
And a towel. What's the towel about?
Well, I'm a sweaty operator at the best of times, and when I'm playing cards, that it goes to another level. So I get very sweaty hands and feet in particular, and a towel is almost necessary to keep my sweat from ruining the game or the floorboards wherever we're setting up.
It's been around for a while though, hasn't it? This whole sweat debacle, this sweat problem that you've
Well,
kind of
yeah.
got. Is it a problem?
It well, it's good for footy. So I find that the sweat on my hands helps with the leather of the ball and taking the ball, but it sucks with just about everything else. Shaking people's hands.
Exams?
Exams. I was going to get a surgery done in year 12 before I had my exam, believe it or not. But we decided that the risk would be too great of like sweat coming up somewhere else, like through your forehead or armpits and stuff like that.
You did get some form of treatment though, didn't you? It was a low level. It was a low level shock of some sort of shock treatment. Low level electrocution.
How far have you been digging? Yeah, you're very good, Griffin. You're very good.
Explain this. You put your hands in some water and you've been electric shocked. What's going on?
So it was a genuine issue. My sweaty hands. It was a genuine issue coming around year 12. You've got an English essay that you got to write a bunch of stuff, and if I'm smudging my pen, you won't be able to read it. So we went to the doctor, and they gave us a few techniques to get rid of it. One of them being surgery, and one of them was this. You put your hands in water, and there's like a device that you set up, and it puts current through it, and it's supposed to stop you from sweating, but it didn't work.
You're fair dinkum just electrocuted yourself to try and stop the sweat.
It's more of just a little sting.
Little stunner.
Yeah, nothing serious, but
Sweaty hands or not, mate. We love you.
Thank you.
Now, we mentioned before the Brayshaw family, big family, great family. You're the youngest of 4 brothers.
Yes, youngest of 4. Yep. Couldn't have picked a better family, to be honest. Very happy with them.
Fairly competitive amongst the crew.
Yes. We just recently had a bet to see who could get to single figures in their golf handicap first, and Angus just got it, so we're all pretty flat. But always making stuff a game and competitions, that sort of thing.
And so circling back to being pick 2, what was your first thought? Was it Angus was 3, you beauty?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, it was obviously one of the best days of my life getting drafted by Freo, but definitely a little sweetener was that Angus had gone 1 pick after me, so I was pretty stoked.
Yeah, nice. Now, there's a rumour when you're all home, especially around Christmas, you do the 100 hundreds on Christmas Day.
Yep.
How did that start?
So Angus, I think one of Dad's mates, or I'm not exactly sure the real origins of it, but pretty much the idea is that none of your opponents are doing anything on Christmas. They're all just, stuffing their faces with food, which is great. But it's a good opportunity to get, a one up on them. So Angus and Hamish originally started doing it. I was probably a bit too young. And they would just do 100 hundreds on Christmas Day before we'd have a big lunch. And it sort of grew, and my footy started getting serious, and I was like, yeah, bloody oath, I'll get in. Just become a bit of a tradition. Family, friends, anyone can really join in, and we do it and then have a really nice feed afterwards. So it's
a big lunch on Christmas, isn't it?
Massive.
And your campaign to change that to a yo-yo test is unsuccessful so far?
And when you do something well once, I've done the yo-yo once, I've set the record, and I'll never do it again.
I'm not bringing up your muscle up on the Gold Coast, mate. Your single muscle up. I'm not bringing it up.
May 14th, 2021.
So obviously the 100 hundreds, sweaty affair, hard work. Do all the brothers jump in the same bath or spa after that?
This year it was in Perth. We all went to the beach together, but I wouldn't be jumping in the same bath. It hasn't been since we were little babies since we've done that.
Well, our facts are wrong then. That's okay.
Never know, mate. Never know.
When's the last time that you hugged your dad?
No, he's a handshaker.
Big Mark loves it.
Mark
doesn't he?
is a big advocate of looking in someone in the eye and shaking them with a firm grip.
That's could be your worst nightmare, couldn't it, with the sweaty mitts?
Well, maybe that's where it's arisen. I don't know. Yeah,
All those years of just shaking blokes' hands.
Potentially, yeah. But yeah, no hugs from Dad.
That's okay.
Genuinely can't remember the last time you hugged him. Is that the actual gist of it? Or?
Yeah, no, honestly, I wouldn't have. I can't remember. which isn't a dig at Dad at all. He's great. Couldn't have asked for a better dad, but he's just not a hugger.
That's fine.
It's fine.
That's fine. Obviously, great family. We've mentioned that, but they play host to Melbourne Young Guys.
Yes,
They're
they
a
do.
host family. So you've had quite a few over the years. Currently, Trent Rivers is sleeping in your bed.
Trent is in my bed. Luke Jackson's in Hamish's bed. And then, we used to have, when I was still living with them, we had Clayton Oliver in the spare room, and Cozzy Pickett was there for a bit as well. So,
Big house.
So do you get the couch when you go home? Or
oh, mate,
how does that work?
I'm lucky to get the couch when I go home. It sort of sometimes works pretty well. They're usually travelling back to WA when I'm travelling back to Melbourne. So I just sleep in my rightful bedroom. But no, that mum and dad, I guess, once all of us left, just, wanted to keep some boys in the house. So I've got them in there.
Yeah, it's good. And your Uncle James, obviously a well-known figure in the AFL land, currently a commentator. Must be handy having some family on the commentary team for our games.
Well, I'm pretty sure he just rips into me every time I get the ball. But, he's a ripper. I think he calls the game pretty well. And every time he comes over to Perth, he always comes into the rooms and gets around me. So it's good.
It's good. We did touch on one of the first questions of Quick Hands was, have you ever changed a tie? And you answered that perfectly by saying attire on my clothes. Private school, mate. Yeah, you would have had a tough upbringing as a silver spooner, or
well, I like to think when someone gets, if my tie ever popped, I would pay someone to do it. I'm not going to try and do someone else's job. But no, a very fortunate upbringing. I wouldn't change it for anything. I've met some silver spooners, but I'm not one of them. Ed Langdon, Ches come to mind, but
I'd definitely agree with that. I probably wouldn't put you in the silver spooner basket, but also we haven't touched on as well. We went on the mini hub, the Gold Coast trip. You had a few assignments due, and your hardware, software, nothing held up.
Failure.
What's going on? The laptop blew up, mate.
Yeah,
Did you sort it out, or?
I have sorted it out since. I ended up buying a new laptop, but
What type?
well, I tried to go with a Dell, because Matt Tabernar had raved about how good they were. But I was lending one off the club, and I'm just so used to using a Mac now after like having one for so long. I just couldn't change, so I went and bought myself another Mac. But it was disappointing. Lloyd Meek and myself had a group assignment that we've now had to ask for 2 extensions. Travel obviously hasn't helped.
It's a bit full on. 2 extensions. 1 extension's understandable with the travel. 2 is probably.
Oh, don't worry.
excessive.
I don't like getting 1 extension. I feel bad having asked Mark Anderson to get the 1, but plugged in my computer, absolutely ripping into some work, and just heard a little fizzle, and my room started to smell like smoke, and then back of my computer had like fried, and I luckily saved probably half of what I'd done. So it was.
So it actually lost a fair bit.
Yeah, I lost a big chunk.
It's just a nightmare, isn't it?
Oh, and it
Was
always
Lloyd filthy?
You're not whacking on Google Docs, and then you can just.
No, I don't believe in the cloud. I just keep it on the hard drive. But
Who's laughing now? The cloud, I reckon.
Well, I think, is it true Lloyd set up a Google Doc
he had set up a Google Doc,
and you had not contributed to that?
and I just thought, well, I'll do my whole bit, and then I'll just paste it on there, and
Lesson learned.
we didn't get there.
Oh, that sucks, mate.
So you've had more assignment extensions than rounds of golf?
Mate, I haven't picked up a club since this assignment has started. I've been working that hard on it, and technical difficulties have gotten away.
We love that you work hard with it. You're obviously a hard, studious man, whether it's studying or footy. You find the balancing act of, you're probably talking to the king of the balancing act of study and footy and family, but have you found it all right with, what are you, 20, 22?
21. Yeah, Dave's been a big influence. I'd say if it wasn't for him sort of putting I guess not pressure, but sort of aligning me into the right path, I probably wouldn't have done as much study as I have up to this date.
A few more extensions, maybe.
A couple of extensions here and there, but yeah, I mean, it is challenging, especially when you first get to the club and you have to spend a fair bit of time getting to know the ropes of what it takes to be an AFL footballer. That was really challenging, but now that I'm sort of settled into a bit of a routine, and I've got my head sort of screwed on straight a bit. It's not too hard, but it definitely has its challenges. There are some people that work full time, 9 to 5, and then after that, I'm doing a group assignment at the moment with a few guys that are working who are really doing it tough. But No, I just got to tick away at it, and hopefully
Just keep pushing the wheel, mate.
one day I'll be publishing a book like this bloke over here.
Well, we've got some room to move. Snee said to me last week, I'm never doing 2 units again.
Yeah, these 2 units have been challenging. Doing 2 third-year units, which I haven't done before, and it's difficult.
Well, hang in there, mate. We believe in you. Now, you're an avid golfer. We had Trevor Collier on the pod last week, and he mentioned that you guys play quite often, but you have 2 Royal memberships. Does that seem excessive or not?
Well,
You don't have 2, do you?
yeah, I've got 2.
Where
I've
are
got
they?
2. Royal Fremantle is my number 1 home club, and then I've got an interstate membership at Royal Melbourne.
So does that work? You get the interstate one just through your free, or you actually have to pay for both?
I pay for both. Well, Royal Melbourne isn't actually affiliated with Royal Fremantle. Royal Perth is affiliated with Royal Melbourne, so I can go and play Royal Perth. Actually got hit by a golf ball when I played there. It's pretty flat.
Jeez.
But yeah, love my golf. That's probably my, outside of football, that's my passion, I guess.
Where's your handicap at the moment?
Yeah, I'm sitting at 11.4, which for anyone who played with me growing up, I was shocking. I probably didn't deserve to have a handicap when I first started playing. So to get to 11.4 is huge for me, but yeah, Angus just got to single figures, so I'm bottle of red. So I'm pretty flat.
And it recently blew out as far as 16 or 17. Was that tactical or?
I did go to my, I think they called it a soft cap. So you're playing so bad that they can't let you blow out any further because I think you're going to be cheating to win the competitions. So I blew out to 15, and I should have been 16 or 17, but I couldn't physically go out any further.
Yeah, so we mentioned Trav brought up the quartet. You had some pretty interesting things to say. Brett, do you want to play that audio?
Well, there's been a bit of conjecture between the two of Sturdy and Andy as to who is number 2. Sturdy doesn't tend to put the white shorts on that well away from home. In the off-season after his first year went back and the handicap came down considerably low, and there was a little bit of concern about the quality of the rounds and the courses that he was playing. Whereas Andy is stepping up the game, going to the wonderful Royal Melbourne, which is a bit more challenging to play. So, look, they're about on par. I don't really want to give one away, but they've both got new clubs. I'll probably put the money on Andy over the next 6 months to
Is
a
it
year.
genuine daylight between first and second? Are you that high up?
Yes.
So clearly Trav's angling for a Royal Melbourne invite, but daylight, it's a bit harsh.
Similar to the clothing debate, Trav puts in a lot of time, and he is a very good golfer. Don't get me wrong, he's really good. Strikes the ball beautifully. Short game's unreal. But I'm just sort of a touch and feel player. I go out
Can't
there.
just say short game's unreal because he's short, can you? Is that why you said that?
No, but no, I go. I don't really like to warm up. I just go out there for a bit of fun, and I just happen to hit it okay. Sturdy's one who absolutely grinds, and then he's just there or thereabouts. I'd like to think I am number 2, definitely. Andy Murray, again.
There you go.
How does it feel to be living in the shadow of someone who's 174 centimeters tall?
He's short, but he's buff. It's a good figure.
He's a big man.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, Snee, this week we're back at home in front of our Purple Army, hopefully. It's been a little while against the Swans. Looking forward to it?
Oh, yeah, very much so. I love Saturday night games. Love playing at Optus. And yeah, we've got something to prove, so it's going to be hopefully a really good night.
Swans have had a good start to the year, obviously, driven, I think, by their young guys. It's going to be a significant challenge.
They've been the sleeper this year. I wouldn't have picked the Swans to start as well as they have. They're obviously a very proud club. What do you put it off, Sinead?
Yeah, like Dave touched on, a young group that's sort of moulding really well. And last year didn't have a great year, but and probably wouldn't have predicted that they'd do as well as they have so far. But they're just playing an honest brand of footy. Contest is really good, and they're all sort of buying into what they're trying to deliver. So it's going to be a tough game this weekend, but yeah, really keen for it.
We just have to do an undisclosed little plug here. The tickets are on sale now for Saturday night. Head to Ticketmaster. We're really keen to fill up the stadium. Feels like a lifetime since we've played in front of the Purple Army at home. So we've had a few lockouts and been away, obviously. So it'd be great to fill up the stadium with our Purple Army, get them cheering, hanging from the rafters.
Yeah, well, come on down, guys, and buy your tickets and
Watch us put on a show. Watch us
Be
get to
great.
work. Bloody oath.
Andy, thanks for joining us, mate. Was that okay?
That was great. Thanks for having me, boys.
No, it was a pleasure, mate. You're a fantastic guest. Got a huge game this week. As we said, we want to pack our stadium, get a win this week, and we'll see you on the pod next week.
You're a natural, Schnee. Well done, mate.
Thank
Thanks,
you, boys.
guys.
Well done.
Till next
Cheers.
time. See you later, boys.